In real world scenario, when you are doing something like exploratory data analysis, it's very often that you will create some table and drop it and then change that, change the name or change the structure. I mean, not change the name, but change the structure, change some definition. That's very common process. Also, if you work in the enterprise environment, sometimes people share a same schema, and you will frequently run into an issue where you do not know whether the table exists or not. So Postgres will fail your script if you run into a error with the existence of a table. For example, if you want to create a table, but it already exists, your SQL will fail. Or if you want to drop a table, but this table does not exist, then your SQL will fail. If it's just one single statement, there's no problem. When it fails, you just let it go. But create and drop are frequently used in a long script where you have multiple statements. You will often create a table first and do some insert, generate some output, and drop the table. So in this case, if you did not check the existence of table, it's very likely that your whole script will fail. Which sometimes can be annoying. Postgres does allow you to check the existence of tables before creating the drop statement I executed. So you can see here, if you add this if not exists phrase to the create table statement, it will check, make sure the table exists, then it will create, if the table exists, it will skip this statement without throwing an error. If it does not exist, it will create the table. Similarly, for drop table, if the table exists, Postgres will drop the table. If it does not exist, then Postgres will ignore this drop table if it exists statement. Does not throw an error. So when you run this, when you run these statements in the full script, the full script will not fail just because the table already exists or does not exist. Now, that being said, you have to be really careful of the potential side effect because the tables were there, were existing or not existing for a reason, right? Because maybe somebody created a table with the same name, and or you yourself created a table with same name 3 days ago that you forgot. And that table might contain some useful information. In this case, when you try to drop a table, if it exists and nobody knows that there's no error message, then that will be a big issue. Or when you create a table if not exists, and someone's table get dropped and created without getting notified, this can be a serious side effect. This can impact their work or your own work. This is especially true when you have those automated process where you frequently will just create a table and run some statements, get guarding data, then generate some output and drop the table. This should be a continuous process. Then the problem is if someone happens to have the same name as your table, then their table will get dropped or get changed without them noticing that, because your script automatically finished without error. There's no way other people knows that there's some change in the table until they want to use it and run into error. So these are useful. These are useful in automated scripts, right? I'm not saying they are not. I'm not saying don't use it, but when you use that, you have to make sure you understand what side effect it may have, and you want to let people know that there are the side effects of naming table in a certain way.